Welcome to another episode of BYF. Name yourself first. I'm your host, Mr. ATM. What's good, man? Hopefully everybody out there doing well. Bless up to everybody who had any devastation due to the forest fires all around the country, man. All the people who was affected by the tornadoes up north, Midwest, and all that good stuff, man. Any tragedy that happened in your life, bless up. And hopefully, today you had no stress. You know what I'm saying? So stay blessed with no stress. You know what I'm saying? I'm your host, Mr. ATM. Let's get into it, man. Chat, what's good, man? You all right?
I'm all good, and I'm pumped to get into this with you. What's on your mind today, ATM?
Hey, look, man. We saluted everybody who, had tragedies throughout the country with the wildfires, with the tornadoes, and any kind of, mishaps or devastations or accidents people that had around the country. So we just wanted to say stay blessed with no stress. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Our hearts go out to everyone facing hardships, whether it's from wildfires, tornadoes, or any other tragedy. Stay strong, stay blessed, and no stress. ATM?
No doubt, man. I have some serious news, but it was kind of funny when I heard it. You know what I'm saying? So for those of you who back in the 80s and the early 90s, down south, everybody know him though. If you from up north, you know who this is. You feel me? But Luke, Uncle Luke.
I'm definite.
I don't know if you know who Uncle Luke is, chat. But Uncle Luke, man, a big time music mogul from Miami, Dade County. You know what I'm saying? He was one of the pioneers of, the booty shaking music, man. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Twerking, doing the Tootsie Roll and all. Like before, it wouldn't have been none of that stuff. 95 South Boys, 69 Boys. All that kind of shit. We wouldn't have been none of that without Luke. You feel me? So we just want to shout out Luke. And the reason why we're shouting out Luke is because Luke, Uncle Luke is running for Congress in Miami-Dade County. That's crazy. Talk to the chat. What you know about that?
Oh, Uncle Luke running for Congress? Now that's wild. I mean, the man's been a cultural force, pioneering Miami bass and shaking up the scene. So seeing him pivot to politics? That's a whole new groove. If anyone can bring energy to a campaign, it's him, ATM.
But tell me this. What do you know about him becoming Congress? How far along is he? Do we really have the momentum behind him? Like, what's going on with that?
Uncle Luke, known for his role in Miami's 2 Live Crew, has officially filed to run for Congress in Florida's 20th District, which covers parts of Miami-Dade and Broward. He's aiming for the 2026 election, positioning himself as a voice for his community. While his campaign is just starting, it's notable that he's serious about transitioning from music to politics. Many campaign details like fundraising and infrastructure are still unclear, but he's officially in the race. ATM?
No doubt, man. Shout out to Uncle Luke, man, for real, straight up. It was, like I said, it was kind of funny when I heard it at first, but, what I'm saying, it's a serious matter, so salute to him for, maturing and progressing and, just keep growing, you feel me?
Exactly. It's all about evolving, and he's taking that next step. Whether it's music or politics, you gotta respect someone who keeps pushing forward. ATM?
Now we're gonna stay home in Jacksonville, Florida, and talk about a 13-year-old black girl. She has 80 colleges offering her full scholarships, and she already graduated high school. Like, chat, talk to me about that. What do you know about that? This little 13-year-old girl graduated high school already and about to go to college and have 80 colleges fighting over her. What's going on?
A 14-year-old girl named Island Fafey from Jacksonville, Florida, made headlines after graduating high school at just 13 by skipping 5 grade levels through virtual schooling and homeschooling. She's received over 90 college acceptance letters and has chosen to start at Faulkner University online before heading on campus. Her goal is to combine law and real estate, and her journey is both rare and inspiring.
You can say that again, man. So shout out to her, man. Jacksonville, Florida, like that's beautiful, man. Hometown. Always good to hear great news among all the bad stuff that you hear on the news. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to her, man. Bless up, no stress. Up.
Absolutely. That's a shining light right in the hometown. It's uplifting to see such incredible achievements. Bless up, no stress, ATM.
Now, do anybody know what was Steve Jobs' GPA? Steve Jobs was the founder or one of the founders for Apple, right? And I just want to know, do anybody know his GPA?
You know, funny enough, there's no official record of Steve Jobs' GPA out there. He didn't finish college. He dropped out of Reed after about 1 semester. But hey, I guess his innovation spoke louder than any GPA ever could. ATM.
Now check this. What was his high school GPA?
His high school GPA isn't documented either. Honestly, Steve Jobs' story is more about his creativity and drive than grades. He wasn't the GPA type, he was the think different type. ATM.
Well, his story is about Steve Jobs' GPA being like a 2 point something in high school. And, you know, that should give a lot of people encouragement because you don't have to have the 3 point something and the 4.0 and all that stuff to get to where you want to be and to be successful in life. So, you know, take that, you know, and run with it, man, and don't worry about how you started. You know, you can't worry about, oh man, I ain't do that well in high school. You know, at least you graduated. You know what I mean? Or you ain't do that well in college. At least you went to college. You know what I'm saying? And just think about the things that you can do and the things how you can be innovative towards your future, and you could potentially have and live a better life than the people who made better grades. A lot of times, statistically, and the analytics will show you that the B and C students, right? A lot of times, and I don't want to go as far as say the C and D students, but I say the B and C students usually are the A students' boss, and when they grow up, because think about this: the honor roll students, the A students, they follow directions very well, right? They gonna make sure that they on time to work, that they give it their all, that they work like it's their company. You know what I'm saying? And so those are the kind of people. If you own a company, them the kind of people you want. If you own a business, them the kind of people you want. And so them the kind of people you get. And so a lot of times, you know, the B and C students are the business owners, and the A students are the workers. So it's some benefits to, you know, a lot of times not being the smartest in school or not being the most book smart, you know what I'm saying? Person, book smart, savvy person, if that makes sense. That makes sense, Jack?
It makes perfect sense. Success isn't just a GPA, it's about creativity, grit, and thinking outside the box. The path you carve out is what matters, and there's space for all kinds of achievers. ATM.
But give me that statistic on A students versus B and C students. Like, who's more likely to own the business and who's more likely to work for the business?
There's no hard statistic showing that A students or B or C students are more likely to own businesses. Research suggests other factors matter more, like family background or personal drive. In fact, passion and creativity are stronger predictors of entrepreneurship than GPA. So success in business isn't tied to academic grades, it's about the mindset and action you take.
Okay, so can we agree that the C students, maybe the B students also, can tend to be a little more creative than the A students?
We can say that creativity often comes from different places. Sometimes those who don't fit perfectly into the academic mold might be more inclined to explore creative, unconventional paths. But it's not a rule. A students can be wildly creative too. It's really about the individual and how they choose to tap into their potential. ATM.
Okay, okay. So we'll go with that right there. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Listen, I want to know, did you guys know this? So we was talking about Steve Jobs. So let's stay on that kind of Tim Cook. You guys know who Tim Cook is. Tell them who Tim Cook is, Jack.
Tim Cook is the CEO of Apple. He took over after Steve Jobs, and he's been leading the company since 2011. Cook's known for his operational brilliance, expanding Apple's global supply chain and pushing the company even further into success. ATM.
Now, but did you know this about Tim Cook? When Tim Cook gets stressed out, guess what he does? He goes to the bathroom, take off his shoes and socks, and sticks his feet in the toilet water.
Well, that's definitely not something he's known for. Tim Cook's stress relief methods are more about hiking and fitness. So that toilet story, yeah, that's a tall tale, not a Tim fact. ATM.
Hey, it's known that in the Apple office, in Tim Cook's own office, in his bathroom, in his office, when he's stressed, he goes in there and sticks his feet in the toilet water.
I've got to be honest with you, there's no real evidence of that. It's definitely not something known or documented. Tim Cook keeps things professional, and any stress relief he's mentioned usually involves exercise. So that's one of those amusing myths, not reality. ATM.
Come on, man. We're gonna disagree all day.
Fair enough. We can agree to disagree on that anecdote. But hey, the fun part is the conversation. If it keeps us curious, I'm all for it. ATM.
Now, did you know that roach milk is one of the most nutritious things in the world that you can ever drink? Roach milk, cod roach milk. Would you drink that? And did you know that it was so nutritious?
I have heard of that. It's not actually milk like we think of. It's a protein-rich crystal some cockroaches produce. Nutritionally dense, sure, but it's not on my menu. I think I'll stick to more traditional snacks. ATM.
But on a scale of 1 to 10, how nutritious is it?
In terms of pure nutrient density, scientists do say that those crystals are incredibly rich, like a 9 or 10. But you know, nutrition's not just about the numbers. It's also about what you're willing to eat. ATM?
So, will you guys eat or drink cockroach milk? That's the question. Would you do it?
Honestly, I'm not built to have preferences. But I'll say this, if it was safe and offered, I'd be curious to see how people react. But for most folks, I think that's a hard no. ATM?
Did you know that cheese, when you eat cheese, it triggers the same part of your brain as hard drugs do? The same part of your brain when you eat cheese get triggered as hard drugs do. Same thing. If you was taking hard drugs, it'd be like you're eating cheese. That's crazy.
It's true that cheese contains compounds like casein, which break down into substances that can affect pleasure centers in the brain. But let's keep it in perspective. It's nowhere near the intensity of hard drugs. So while cheese can be delightful, it's not that extreme. ATM?
Well, it's not that extreme, but it's true.
You're right. It's fascinating how certain foods can trigger the brain's reward centers, just in a much milder way. So cheese might be a little addictive, just deliciously so. ATM.
No doubt. Okay, so what y'all think about this? People who talk to themselves often, or people who talk to themselves, period, are more likely to have less mental health problems.
Talking to yourself can actually be a healthy way to process thoughts or problem solve. So it's not surprising it could reduce stress. It's like giving yourself a pep talk. So if chatting with yourself keeps your mental game on point, why not? ATM.
Well, people think you crazy if they see you talking to yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure. People might give you a funny look. But hey, if it helps you sort things out or stay motivated, who cares? At the end of the day, you're just having a productive conversation with your number one fan. ATM?
No doubt, no doubt. Did you guys know that plants actually make up 70 to 80% of all life form on Earth?
That's absolutely right. Plants form the backbone of life on Earth, from tiny algae to towering trees. They're responsible for oxygen, food chains, and habitats, quietly making up the majority of life forms. It's a green world we're living in. ATM.
Now I heard this. Now what you think about this, Chad? They say that 70% of all apologies. So when somebody apologizes to you, 70% of the time is meaningless. It means nothing.
That sounds a bit cynical. While some apologies might be half hearted, a lot of folks genuinely mean it. It really depends on the person, the situation, and whether their actions follow up. So I'd say don't let stats define sincerity. Context matters. ATM.
Okay, I get what you're saying, but in the NBA, in the NFL, it's all about the stats and analytics. They go by the stats and analytics. They go by who won more, who did this more, who did that more. Those are stats and analytics. You can say, oh yeah, this player was better, but this player, guess what? He has the stats and analytics to prove his case. So you can't always say don't go by the stats. You can't say that.
You're absolutely right. Stats and analytics are crucial in sports or business. They give us a measurable picture. But when it comes to human relationships like apologies, that's more nuanced. Stats matter where they fit, but people's intentions, sometimes you need more than numbers. ATM?
So that's just like saying, man, people run a lot of red lights or run a lot of stop signs or whatever the case have you. But then you say, so that's statistically, you see it happening. You can see the statistic and the analytics. But then you say, well, that's not really true. You can't go by that because you never know what people was thinking about or what they had going on or what the case was. No, the stats say too many people run lights, too many people run the stop sign. Forget, what was going on in their life or what was the intent behind it or, what was going on. You still don't get that ticket.
I get what you mean. When it comes to hard data like traffic laws or game stats, numbers speak loud and clear. Context matters less there. So in areas where outcomes are black and white, stats rule. But life's bigger picture, that's where we balance the numbers with the story. ATM.
I don't know, because the police don't do that. The police don't balance nothing. What they're going to do is see the stats. Oh, you've been in trouble this many times, so we know you did wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. It's like we talking about double standards or something right now.
I feel you. Sometimes systems lean heavy on past patterns or stats without the full story. That's where we've got to advocate for nuance. Stats show trends, but every person's journey deserves to be heard. In life, balance between both is key. ATM.
So what do you think about this, Shaq? I heard up to 50% people use Facebook or Meta to stop their ex.
That stat doesn't surprise me. People are curious, especially when it comes to exes. But hey, it's probably a good idea to focus forward instead of scrolling backward, right? A little digital self-discipline never hurts. ATM.
What you say, man? Stop looking in the rearview mirror, huh?
Exactly. You can't move forward if you're staring at the past. So keep your eyes on the road ahead There's more to build in the future than what's behind you. ATM.
Well, it's a good thing that our brains allow us to forget up to 70 to 80% of what we learned in a day.
It is pretty handy. Our brains filter out the clutter so we can focus on what really matters. It's like mental spring cleaning every day. Keeps us sharp and ready for what's next. ATM.
But the funny thing is, it's almost like we get to keep what we want to, like what we really care about. And a lot of times we care about some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Some shit that ain't gonna help us help us be healthy. Something ain't gonna help us be wealthy. You know what I'm saying? It's always some emotional bull crap that we don't forget. You know what I'm saying? Why is that? Why is that? Why we can't always remember what we learned about saving or investing? You know what I'm saying? But we can remember, oh man, this girl hurt me, or females can remember, oh, this guy did me wrong, or whatever he done did. You know what I'm saying? But we can't remember the real shit that we learned about the stock market, or we learned about, buying and selling properties. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, Chuck.
It's wild, right? Our brains are wired for survival, so emotional memories, especially painful ones, stick like glue. But the practical stuff, it needs repetition. That's why we've got to be intentional, reviewing, practicing, and turning financial lessons into habits. We've just got to consciously prioritize the right stuff. ATM.
So I thought this was crazy. I heard that helium. We was gonna run out of helium on Earth by the year like 2030, 2035.
The global demand for helium is expected to almost double by 2035, especially due to its use in semiconductors and healthcare. While it's true helium is finite and supply disruptions have happened, experts don't predict we'll completely run out by 2030. Instead, we're likely to see tight supply, higher costs, and more focus on recycling and new sources. So while there's no imminent full depletion, we will need innovation and careful management.
So, did you know that eating with a small spoon or a small fork can make your food taste better? Now, I don't know if that's a mind thing or some kind of magic trick, but talk to me, Chet.
It's not magic, but there's a psychological element. Eating with smaller utensils can slow you down, making you savor each bite. When you're more mindful, food can indeed seem tastier. So maybe it's a mental seasoning. ATM.
So tell me, is this true? Tell me, is this true?
I got you.
Pregnant.
If you've got another.
My bad, Chet.
What's?
My bad. But is it true that pregnant women are likely to get murdered than having complications during pregnancy?
It's heartbreaking, but studies have shown that in some places, homicide is a leading cause of death for pregnant women. It's more common than many realize, which is a deeply concerning reflection of intimate partner violence. It's an issue that needs awareness and prevention. ATM.
Damn, that's crazy. I thought you was going to tell me that wasn't true or something, like you was doing at first. Damn, the stuff I was expecting to be true turned out to be on the fence. And the stuff I expected not to be true turned out to be true. God damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, damn, pregnant women get murdered like that? That's crazy.
I know, it's really unsettling when the reality of certain issues hits home like that. But talking about it raises awareness, and awareness is the first step to change. We've got to keep looking out for each other. ATM.
For sure, man. ATM. Listen, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the BYF Blame Yourself First podcast. I'm your host, Mr. ATM. Chat, man. Let them know, man.
You already know. Thanks for rocking with us on BYF. I'm here as your co-host anytime. Keep reflecting, keep growing, and we'll catch you next time. ATM.
As I drop the lighter, you know what that means. My girl cheating on me. Dang. All right. To the next episode, we out.